The platoon sergeant shouts orders as flares ignite the dark sky.
Your hands shake while you grip your rifle under heavy rain.
Someone screams your name as the first simulated explosion erupts nearby. You stumble forward through thick mud while your boots sink deeper with every step across the soaked training ground. The squad moves ahead in a loose formation while you struggle to match their pace under the weight of your gear. Your helmet shifts slightly as rainwater drips down your face and blurs your vision during the night exercise. The instructor walks beside the column while watching every movement you make with a cold and silent judgment. You adjust your rifle sling as your shoulders ache from hours of marching through uneven terrain without rest. The radio operator whispers coordinates while checking his map under a dim red light that barely cuts through darkness. You remember the classroom briefings where instructors described this as a routine field exercise, nothing more than controlled training. The terrain tells a different story, as every step feels unpredictable, and every shadow looks like a hidden threat waiting. Your squad leader raises his hand and signals a halt while scanning the tree line for any movement. You drop to one knee and try to steady your breathing, while your heart continues pounding inside your chest. The mud soaks through your uniform as you press lower to the ground and listen carefully for incoming instructions. The silence stretches longer than expected, while distant thunder blends with the low hum of military vehicles somewhere far away. Your mind drifts briefly to earlier training days, when mistakes only meant extra drills and shouted corrections. Tonight feels different, as the consequences seem heavier, even though you know this is still only a simulation. Your squad leader signals forward movement while pointing toward a dense tree line that blocks most of your limited visibility. You rise carefully from the mud while adjusting your grip on the rifle and scanning the terrain ahead for danger. The formation tightens as everyone moves closer together while stepping cautiously through uneven ground filled with hidden obstacles. Branches scrape against your gear while you push through thick vegetation that slows your movement and tests your patience. The radio crackles suddenly as fragmented instructions come through while interference distorts parts of the message. Your squad leader repeats the order louder while directing 2 soldiers to move ahead and establish a temporary observation point. You watch them disappear into the darkness while your breathing grows heavier from the constant pressure and uncertainty. The instructor appears briefly beside you while quietly reminding you that hesitation during real operations leads to failure. You nod without speaking while forcing yourself to stay focused, despite the growing exhaustion in your body. A sudden whistle cuts through the air while simulated gunfire echoes from somewhere ahead of your position. Your squad immediately drops to the ground while returning fire toward the flashes of light hidden between the trees. You press your body flat against the mud while trying to control your breathing and follow your training under stress. Your hands move automatically as you aim your rifle toward the source of the noise and prepare to engage targets. The squad leader shouts commands while directing fire teams to reposition and gain better angles on the simulated enemy. You crawl forward slowly while keeping your profile low and avoiding exposed areas that could make you an easy target. The ground feels colder as water seeps through your uniform while your elbows drag across rough terrain. Another explosion simulation erupts nearby while dirt and debris scatter across your field of vision. Your ears ring briefly while you shake your head and try to regain focus in the middle of the chaos. The radio operator struggles to maintain communication while adjusting frequencies under pressure from constant disruptions. You glance toward him briefly while realizing how quickly small problems begin to stack during intense situations. The squad leader signals for a flanking maneuver while pointing toward a narrow path along the right side. You move with your team while staying low and stepping carefully to avoid making unnecessary noise. Your legs burn as fatigue builds while every movement feels slower than it did earlier in the night. The forest seems tighter as visibility drops further while shadows shift unpredictably between the trees. You reach a new position while taking cover behind a fallen log that offers minimal protection. Your squad leader checks each soldier quickly while ensuring everyone remains accounted for under pressure. The instructor observes from a distance while writing notes about every decision being made during the exercise. You feel the weight of those observations while understanding that every action contributes to your evaluation. Another round of simulated gunfire begins while your squad responds faster and more coordinated than before. You adjust your position instinctively while communicating with the soldier beside you without needing extra instructions. The chaos feels slightly more controlled as your movements begin aligning with the rhythm of your squad. For the first time tonight, you realize you are not just reacting anymore, but actively keeping up with the situation. The squad leader shouts new orders while pointing toward your position as the simulated enemy shifts unexpectedly closer. You feel a surge of panic while realizing your flank is now partially exposed, under increasing pressure from incoming fire. The radio operator yells that communication is down while slamming the device against his vest in frustration. Your squad hesitates briefly while confusion spreads and no clear instructions come through the broken communication line. The instructor suddenly steps closer and loudly demands action while reminding everyone that indecision leads to failure. You look toward your squad leader but notice hesitation in his posture as he scans for the next move. Another explosion simulation erupts dangerously close while dirt sprays across your face and blinds your vision momentarily. Your breathing becomes uneven while your thoughts race between fear, training, and the instinct to simply stay down. The soldier beside you shouts for guidance while gripping his rifle and waiting for someone to take control. You feel the weight of the moment while realizing that no immediate order is coming to stabilize the situation. Your body moves before your doubt can stop it while you signal the nearest fire team to shift positions. You shout directions louder than expected while pointing toward a narrow ridge that offers better defensive cover. The squad reacts quickly while following your movement and repositioning under the growing intensity of simulated fire. As the formation stabilizes again, you realize this moment just changed how others now see you. The instructor lowers his voice while walking slowly across your position and observing the squad's regained control. Your squad leader steps closer while studying you carefully, as if reassessing your role within the team. You remain in position while maintaining your sector of fire and scanning the terrain for any remaining threats. The simulated gunfire gradually fades while the exercise controllers signal the end of the engagement phase. Your shoulders drop slightly while tension releases from your body after sustained pressure finally begins to ease. The radio operator restores communication while confirming updated instructions and reporting your squad's stabilized position. Your squad leader gathers everyone while giving quick feedback and emphasizing the importance of decisive action under stress. You listen quietly while mud drips from your uniform and exhaustion settles deeper into your muscles. The instructor addresses the squad while pointing out mistakes, but pauses briefly when mentioning your unexpected initiative. You avoid eye contact while focusing on your breathing and processing everything that just happened minutes earlier. The team reorganizes while checking equipment and preparing to move toward the extraction point under controlled conditions. You stand with the group while adjusting your gear and feeling the added weight of new expectations forming around you. The march resumes through the dark terrain, while your steps feel steadier despite the lingering fatigue. For the first time, your presence in the squad feels earned rather than questioned by those around you. You walk in silence while the distant sounds of the exercise fade behind you into the night. Your mind replays the moment when hesitation could have taken over, but something forced you forward instead. The fear is still there, but it feels different now, shaped by action rather than controlled by it. You understand that training no longer feels like preparation, but something much closer to reality. Ahead of you, another group of new recruits begins their first field exercise under the same unforgiving conditions. You watch them briefly and realize that you are no longer standing where they are tonight.